What's up, everyone? Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab of California, and I'm looking forward to doing this breakdown here today. It is the start of the 2020 off-season throw program, so if you guys are interested in doing that, there's links below to set up a phone call. There's links below to get access to the actual link, the actual information. We're running a special here through the month of December for all the quarterbacks that are looking to get going in our 3-month program. So go ahead and check that out below. We're going to go ahead and start the breakdown here with Justin Fields, really getting a little bit more into the scrambling type of stuff, being able to throw on the run. We got a good amount of guys that ask about that, and then also just Justin Fields going and being a Heisman finalist and having the year that he did, wanted to be able to give you a breakdown on him. So you can see here, this is a tough throw as he's rolling out to the left side. And the big thing when you're rolling out to the left that you have to be able to do is really be able to flip the hips. And so you can see how well he can turn the hips. And then from that position, really, really strong at being able to still be very on the tip of the toe, right? So you can see how high his heel is off the ground here, but he's still very much on the tip of the toe while being able to create a large amount of knee bend into that back leg. So what that means is that he's really loading his hip well by being able to bend the more you're bending the knee, the more you're able to really create load through that lower body. That's why the squats, you go all the way down through those squats, because that makes it so you're getting all the effective load onto your lower body. So you can see how he's able to do that. And then from that position, he doesn't get to step as much with his foot off to like this area. That's what he would generally step, maybe a little bit more here if he was throwing this same pass without rolling off to the side. You can see how much he's turned off to the side. And the reason that is because he needs to be able to have more room to be able to drive through those hips. You can see how much he's able to push off that back leg now and really finish all the way through and give himself plenty of room to be able to pull those hips through the actual throw as he drives that elbow up and through the throw. It's a very, very difficult throw to make, but you can see he does it really well because of how he goes and steps with his foot on the outside part of his back foot, how far outside too he does. And the big thing that I would say too, and I see this with Patrick Mahomes too, I see this with a lot of these guys, is notice how he starts with that foot really far outside, that knee really far inside, and that helps create what's called internal rotation of that front hip, which then makes it so as he opens up, now he's able to create a lot more external rotation. Sorry, the frames per second here aren't great, but you can see how that creates a lot more external rotation as he's loading. So it helps him in being able to create just that much more overall force within the hips when he's throwing the ball. Here we're going to show you rolling out to the right side and what that looks like here. So you can see him rolling out and just being not having to do near as much with the hips this time. Now it's really all about loading the upper body, because what happens is when you're rolling out to the right is that you're not able to get as much overall load within that. Oh, it's freezing on me. Not able to get as much load within the upper body because you end up being a little bit closed off. It's a little bit easier to load the hips, right, because your hips are already a little bit further back when you're rolling out to the right, but it's harder to create a lot of rotation within the spine. So notice as he's rolling out to the side here, how he really loads up a lot within the ball, a lot within the spine, really drives that left arm back more than you would typically drive that left arm back, and that gives him the position to create a lot more vertical force now as he's actually creating the throw. Is now he's getting a lot more upwards and really driving the elbow through. I usually tell the quarterbacks that you really want to almost run through these throws, right? So you want to run through where you're actually running rather than kind of going off to the side. But you could see that when he actually threw the ball, he was going towards his target, and then after he delivered is when he went away. So you can see he turns, and when he actually throws, boom, he gets all of that momentum going this way. Okay, and then after he delivers the actual throw, that's when he starts kind of running off to the side. But the big thing that I would say, especially if you're throwing it to the right sideline, anything over here, and you're doing any type of rollout to the right, you got to be able to get full range through that spine, right? You really got to be able to turn there in order to be able to effectively have this throw. You got to be able to have that excellent spine range of motion, or else this throw is going to be a lot more difficult to make overall. Really pulled back there, which is excellent, and allows him to drive that elbow through and still use his lower body to create that upward vertical force during the throw. All right, last one here, we're going to be actually going throw to the left side. A little bit further through here. Okay, so here it's a lot about how well are you able to turn the hip. So notice how right now he's basically his entire body's facing right towards the actual target, reading the defense. But now he's deciding, okay, I'm going to throw. So now what's the first thing that he does once he decides to throw? He really works on getting that left hip to turn all the way through, really reaches back with that right arm, and now from there, he's in the position to now drive that hip forward. Look at how much good hip extension he gets. He's almost falling forward as he's trying to complete this throw. You know, if he was almost like at a cliff, you could almost see him going up and over the cliff, and that's just because of how he loaded the ball, got to that left hip, turned through first, boom, and then from there turned in the obliques, turned in the core, the shoulder, and then drives hard with that elbow, drives hard off that right leg to really be able to drive through with that throw to make sure that the throw is going to be able to be as accurate as he can, and also be able to create the most amount of force that he can. So when you're going off to the left, what ends up happening is that if you don't get those hips and you don't get that turn, when you finish, you'll end up falling more this way rather than going actually towards your target when you throw. And you know, you might have a hard time pushing off that right leg. So you really got to be able to drive off that right leg here and get a lot of extension. Again, vertical force here when you're throwing on the run to make sure that you're able to, from that vertical force off the ground, now you can get that elbow high and then drive back through, you know, downwards, where when you're typically throwing, you know, you're trying to get more of this momentum because you're running, you already are creating this momentum. Now you want to get more of that momentum, where if you're stable, I meant, is when you're trying to get more of this momentum, right? Because you're trying to, you know, a stationary throw, you're trying to just get more of your weight going straight forward, boom, right? So you can see how he's going and driving that weight straight forward, where when you're throwing on the run, now you're trying to get a little bit more overall vertical as you're trying to actually go through the throw. So it's a little bit of a change from one side to the other. All right? Let me know if you guys have any questions about this. There's a lot of really, really good information for throwing on the run. I know that's a big thing, especially now with how the game is changing and how you got to be able to move outside the pocket as well as a quarterback. So you got to be able to run, you got to be able to throw accurately. You have a lot of different things that are put on you. So being able to throw on the run is going to be crucial, especially as you know quarterbacks are getting more and more mobile. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. And if you have any suggestions for breakdowns, let me know of that as well, and we'll be happy to help. So yeah, guys, as always, thanks for watching these videos. Check out the programs below, and we'll talk to you soon.